What's going on, everybody? My name is Justice. I'm with my guy.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's poppin'. It's your boy Tyaire. How y'all doing?
And you're watching and you're listening to the Silky Boys Podcast, the Waviest podcast out right now for your sports takes. What's going on in the culture right now? Tyaire, how you feeling this week, my boy?
I'm feeling good, bro. It was a good week. A lot of stuff to talk to, but we made it through, bro. Good week.
Another week we made it through, so let's get right into it. We got NBA playoffs after everything that happened with the social justice movement. Moving on, resume play. We had a hell of a first-round series between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets.
Yep. Before we move on, I just want to first and foremost just say rest in peace to everybody we lost this weekend. All those big loss we took. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That was a big, impactful loss last week. That was a tough one. Rest in peace, John Thomas. Just big, impactful people that we lost, and just 2020 just keep showing us. But I just want to have a quick moment of silence for them, real quick. So yeah. All right, rest in peace to them, everybody else that we lost, man. But yeah, that's the only thing that would have me down over this week, bro. Just the news and just those two guys really just like, wow, they were just really impactful. Like, and especially Chadwick's story, bro. That was like, what, bro? Like, that was so shocking, bro. Like,
yeah, we're gonna talk about that more later on.
Yeah. But I just want to get that out the way. Just put that off top. So yeah, we can get into the sports now.
But yeah, so Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, back to. In a first-round playoff series to have two 50-point games, first time since Allen Iverson did it in 2001. That's nuts. This bubble has people that we don't think could potentially play at all-star caliber levels all of a sudden playing at this, because I didn't think Jamal Murray was ever capable of doing something like this. The way that he was shooting the ball off the dribble, the way he was making plays, and everything, and along with Donovan Mitchell, the fact that he's looking so much more and more like Dwayne Wade, just with a jump shot, and he's coming to his own. Like, that was a hell of a first-round series, and credit to both those guys. And Jazz, they just missed out on the opportunity at the end of the game. Like, and we could talk about that final play too, with Mike Conley taking that final shot.
Yeah, they missed out on their opportunity, but it's like, yo, in that opportunity, like, the blame has to go on Mike Conley, bro. Like, it's like 3 seconds left on the clock. You have the opportunity to get the pass ahead. You have the best player on the team, like you said. The guy is dropping 50 points in the series. He's the only guy. He's like number 2 on the playoff scoring list behind Michael Jordan. Like, that's something he did in this series, and he's wide open for a shot at the end of the game. You got to get him the ball, and I feel like that play is going to haunt them for the rest of the all season. I feel like Mike Conley's going to watch that play and be like, yeah, I definitely should have passed that instead of trying to be a hero, because, like, he forced it. He, like, wasted 2 seconds trying to get his dribble off and trying to get the shot off when he really – in all actuality, Rudy Gobert could have threw it up there if we really want to talk about it, but – hey, that's
Rudy took like 2 or 3 dribbles where he could have just threw one.
Like, they knew he was up. Like, you knew what happened to play before. You knew he got the ball ripped. You knew he was laying on the ground. You knew he was the only one back. Like, you knew beforehand. Your basketball IQ has to be on in that play to make you say, hey, I remember where Donovan is. Let me get the ball up to him and let's win the game. Right. But, hey, sometimes brain farts happen, and I guess that's what happened there for them.
That's what it is, but still a great series, and everyone, including myself, is just wondering, okay, Donovan Mitchell in these next couple of years, where is he going to go as far as a player? Because we see the legacy being built right now. We see a guy that can be a face, that can be a top 10 player in this league right now. Like, just seeing that coming of age story like we saw with LeBron, like, 20 years ago, what we see with Melo and D-Wade and all those other guys as well, too. I think that's going to be an interesting storyline, too, to follow. And same thing with Luka, too, having the first round that he did against the Clippers, getting 2 games without Porzingis in 2 of those games, dropping a 40-point triple-double and hitting a game winner.
43, 17, and 12 on a bum ankle and sent them with the game. That's ridiculous, bro. Yeah, look at that boy.
It's legendary stuff in the making we're seeing in these playoffs for these young guys. And it just goes to show you that the league right now is just incapable of hands as far as the talent goes, but also just in terms of just storylines and narratives and just, again, just building of all these guys coming together. It's been fun to see it in this bubble atmosphere, just everything just being created right now. now.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like on the Luka tip, it definitely felt type of like storytelling, like a fairy tale type. Like it really felt like Michael Jordan when he was going up against the Celtics in '86, bro. It felt like the young coming superstar who's playing against the best team in the league, but it's still giving them buckets and killing them. And we know in like 2 to 3 years, oh yeah, he's about to run this whole league. And it was just like a precursor to what we know is about to come in the West for the next 5 to 10 years.
Exactly, Luka's gonna be running it for a few years.
Exactly.
So as long as he's on the Mavericks gonna be a good team.
Exactly. They just gotta get another. They need to, like I said, they need an enforcer in that team.
They need that guy that can. And KP is that, but they didn't have him this first round.
Nah, bro. They need another guy other than KP that's gonna stand up to guys like Marcus Morris and stuff. Cause like you can't have KP. KP's too important in the offense. Like him getting in a fight, that's risking too much. Like with the Warriors, like Draymond can get in a fight, but you still got Steph, Clay, and KD that's gonna get you 30 each. Like you need somebody like that that's gonna risk getting in a fight, risk getting a tech. But it doesn't hurt the team. Like Marcus Morris can get all those techs, but Kawhi and PG is still in the game. So that's what they need. Like they can't have KP getting on that mix because he's too important to the team too.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and I'll be curious to see if they do that this coming off season. If somehow they're able to make a trade or they're able to make a free agent signing.
Because like that play when Marcus Morris slapped Luka, there's no way all those Dallas Maverick players should have just been standing there looking all lackadaisical while their star players on the ground. Like no, y'all gotta rush up, get in their face, and whatever you gotta do. Y'all gotta protect your future.
Mm-hmm. We protect the future, and also at the end of the day, like we're competing for a championship.
Exactly. Like that sends a message. If they punking your best play, that sends a message to the whole team how they feel about y'all.
That's a fact.
For real.
But moving on later into the playoffs too, we had another exciting 7-game first-round series. OKC and Houston.
Yes, sir.
Chris Paul versus Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're trying to see if OKC can make the playoffs without Kevin Durant for the second round. And we're also trying to see if Russell Westbrook
It finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Westbrook has got to the second round of the playoffs. Yes, this is what we thrive for. He made it. Finally. He broke that curse.
After having a terrible game 6.
Terrible. Airballing.
He airballed it. How do you airball the ball with less than a minute to go, tied up, and you don't give it to James Harden's hands?
And then on the following possession, you go and
turn the ball over.
Like, after I airball, I'm not even going to try to touch the ball on the next play. I'm like, all right, yeah, James got that, bro. I'm just going to stay in the corner. Let him do what he do. I just airball. Like, I'm bounce back next game, bro. Like, that's all, bro. Let James win this. We bounce back. I'm coming against the Lakers, bro. But nah, he had to go again, force it, and be Russ again.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then, so we had a game 7 where Lou Dort scored 30 points. He had 18 in the first half. He had 18 in the first half. He went 4 for 7 from 3. I was watching that game. I'm saying to myself, bro, is this the game Lou Dort becomes an NBA player? Is it happening right before our very eyes right now?
I was watching that game and I heard a reporter say Lou Dort, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James, and I was like, yo. What is going on? Nah, but he had a great game though. I can't even lie. The Rockets was playing off on him, like Mark Jackson was saying throughout the whole broad. Play off of him, guys. He's not gonna play like that the whole game, guys. Don't change your game plan. Play off of him. Stick to CP3 and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not gonna do that all game. 30 points later, and he was still doing that the whole game. But yeah, he stepped up, made big shots when he needed to. He was getting to the lane, and he was still playing good D on Harden. So he's definitely a good piece for them coming forward. And if they can really develop an offensive game for him, he got a bright future in the league. He could be a real good 3-and-D guy.
Absolutely. On top of that, you pair that with Andre Roberson too, who they didn't have. We pair that back with next season too. And also, I really like Darius Baisley. Like he's actually been playing really good throughout these the games that they played.
Yeah, I really like Shea. I like those type of point guards who just like tall, lanky, like kind of remind me like a Penny Hardaway type. Like I just like those guys who will do everything. And I feel like with Shea, if you got a guy like that and you surround him with pieces, like if Dort develops into something like a 3D guy, that's a perfect type of guy for him.
Yeah, OKC has something. Like they have a really good solid foundation.
Exactly, and just keep having Chris Paul there in that locker room, just developing those guys and talking to them. They got a bright future. Sam Presti really made something out of nothing when he could have really had a bad season when people expected him to. Like, they were supposed to be in the lottery, so, like, shouts out to them just for turning around when people really thought they wasn't about to do nothing this season.
And speaking of Chris Paul real quick, we were both watching this series, and I wrote this up to you the other day. Is this Chris Paul's last meaningful playoff run?
Yeah, I feel like it is. I feel like the West next year is going to get stronger. I feel like a lot of people who are coming back, like Steph Clay and all those guys, I feel like the Timberwolves are going to be real strong next year. I feel like the Suns are going to build off of what they did in the bubble this year. I feel like Dame's going to build off of what he did last year. So I just feel like the West is going to be stronger next year. I feel like whoever wins the championship this year, either the Clippers or the Lakers, they're going to be stronger next year, and then the team that's going to lose is going to be stronger. So I feel like the West is just going to move past them, and I feel like him being the best player on that team is not going to be enough next year for them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this was the last window for him. But if he gets traded or something to another team, then maybe we never know. But as of far right now, I don't see that happening with that contract he got.
At all, so you don't think he's going to the Knicks at all?
To the Knicks,
because that headline has been circulating since November, I think, November, December, trying to get Chris Paul to New York.
But like, what are they gonna do? Who else are they partnering him with? Trying to get Giannis or AD or like what?
I mean, depending on what happens, I think this year, Giannis leaving Milwaukee is in play. Depending on what happens in these next games.
I've definitely been saying that for a while now. I feel it. I just feel it coming. I feel like all just the pieces to the stories here. Like, it's the typical story. It's the LeBron story. We're just watching it all over again. It's just gonna play out how it plays out, and it's just inevitable to happen. Honestly.
That's true. But so let's get into Giannis and the Bucs real quick. So Heat are up right now, 2-0 against them. Giannis, in game one, you let Jimmy Butler score 40 points after you were just announced as the Defensive Player of the Year. If you're announced the Defensive Player of the Year, you cannot let that happen. On top of that, you're the best player on that Bucs team. Why aren't you guarding him? It doesn't matter if Wesley Matthews is guarding him, doesn't matter if Eric Bledsoe is guarding him. You have to guard him at the end of the day. That's the Heat's best player. That's the best playmaker. You have to shut him down. At the end of the day, you're trying to win a championship. You're trying to get to the conference finals because you failed to last year. I don't understand how that can happen when you're watching. Your excuse is, oh, I'm just doing what coach is telling me to do. Like, there's we talked about this too off camera. There's you have to have, when you carry a title, when you carry yourself as the best player and as the Defensive Player of the Year, you have to carry yourself in a certain way. You have to carry yourself into an alpha mentality. You just have to, especially when you're the franchise guy that everyone knows you to be. And that's why you had Richard Jefferson saying what he said, hey, he might be a Pippen. Mentally, he might be a Scottie Pippen. He might not be a Jordan.
Hey man, yeah, I'm with you with a lot of that you said. Like, when you in these talks, when you being compared to LeBron, when people are comparing you to Shaq, like, your most accurate comparison, mostly when analysts and people talk about you, is Shaq, the dominance that y'all have. That comparison, Shaq never ran away from that. And when you want to talk about you're the best player in the league, and we putting you in these talks to be the best player in the league, you can't run away from it when a guy is dropping 40. When you're the two-time reigning MVP, you have to step up in the fourth quarter to score and defend. Because now that all the accolades are there, you have to show it. Like, we're talking about you every year, oh, it's the Bucs this, but every time it gets to this point, you don't show up, you quiver, you shy away. Last year, you did it against Kawhi. The year before, I don't even remember, every time LeBron played during the playoffs, you quivered away. You've never stepped up when it needed to happen, and it's becoming like you said, he's mentally not, he doesn't have that mentally thing, and we talked about this off mic too. I feel like a lot has to do with he's just not from here. He doesn't get a lot of the ins and outs of American basketball or like the American culture. So like certain things that we talk about, certain attitudes or aggressions that we have across the in basketball, they might not have over there, and he just doesn't see that. He's like, yo, I just play basketball. I do what I told to do, and I just follow the game. But it's like, nah, bro, you got to step up. You have to take over because, like, you're getting all this money, you're getting all this accolade, all the fame. So now we're looking at you to score. Like, you scoring 30 points per game in the regular season, but in the playoffs, you got 12 points in the fourth quarter. Like, that can't happen, bro.
A lot of what you said, like, I think him being from Greece and growing up overseas, I think does have a part of it to do, like, with it, like you said. And also, like, I don't want to come over here and bash him and say that he can't turn into an alpha, because you can find your place to really assert yourself the way that he needs to be. But what we're seeing right now is, like, why aren't you? Especially right now, again, because you're in the middle of a title run. Like, you have this is year 2 for you right now. You only have 3, maybe like 4 years to win the championship.
And this is the second time you've been down 0-2 in back-to-back playoff years. Like, that's a problem.
You just lost game 1 of the first round against an Orlando Magic team.
Exactly.
Like, that says something. Like, that was a big game for you, and you went out and lost it. And now you're down 2-0 against the Heat. Again, granted, that was a whole different situation at the end of the game with the ref. Call he made.
Gosh, bro.
That's a whole totally different conversation. But watching that game, Miami was up most of that game for a reason. Like, they were just flat out playing really better, just playing better than you. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want him to see. I just don't want to see him fail 2 years in a row again, like he is right now.
Exactly. And it's just like, for him, it's just like, he has everything, bro. It's just, if you just get that you just gotta have that killer thing that switches in you to make you, because once you get that, nobody can stop him, bro. Like, if he had the attitude of a Dame Lillard, bro, nobody could stop him, bro. Nobody would be able to stop Giannis, bro. But, like, if you don't have it, you don't have it. But, like you said, it could grow into it. But maybe all people are right, like Richard Jefferson's right. Maybe he does just need that second guy to just, same talent-wise as him, to be right there with him, to take some of that heat for him and be that alpha. Like, KD wasn't the alpha, but he had Russ, and it worked for mostly, but it really didn't. But on the Warriors, it worked because Steph was there, and they still had Draymond. Just maybe he needs that. Like, the same thing we talking about Luka. They're not these aggressive guys. Like, Steph is not an aggressive guy, but they're still superstar players, and when it's time to win, they win. So, like, you don't have to be that super dog, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan type of dude to win. You don't have to be that. Like, everybody's not like that. Magic Johnson was the nicest guy in the world. Like, you don't have to be that dude.
Right, but on that court, like, you need to flip a switch sometimes in those situations.
Exactly, bro. And when you get there, and it's gonna come, bro. Like, it's eventually gonna click for him, bro. I'm not saying his career is done.
Oh yeah, we're not. Oh, the furthest thing. That's the furthest thing that we're saying. But early on in your career, when we were just talking about this in terms of legacy, in terms of players, like their whole story narrative being built right now. That's something to take note of. If you're looking at it from that perspective. And also players, they're looking at it from that perspective too. Because at the end of the day, all these guys, they want to be the best. And they know things like this, know things like playoff records and playoff performance heavily impact that. Look what happened with Joel Embiid. He said, I don't want to go down 3-0. I don't want to go down 3-1. Like, and look what happened. Like, you may not want to happen, but that's on his career. That's on your resume. That's on your resume. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell too. Like, hey, yeah, y'all were up 3-1 too, and you let that slip to a Denver Nuggets team that just got hot. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but, you know, it's on your resume. And,
bro, like, for a lot of these guys, like, we gotta chill, bro. It takes time. Like, nobody just jumped in this and had it, bro. Like we said, it took Mike, like, 7-8 years to get it. You gotta groom it. You gotta grow into this. Like, everybody not gonna be Kobe or, like, Tim Duncan and just jump into it and have a David Robinson or a Shaq on your team. Like, you gotta grow into it. Everything doesn't just happen organically overnight. It's a process, and once you get the right steps and once the pieces fit, it's gonna work. It just takes time. You gotta groom it.
I mean, even with Giannis, going back to him, like, he was drafted 2013, 2014. He had to develop for like a 5 years before he started to look like a solid NBA player to now where he is gonna be the double back-to-back MVP.
He doesn't even have a jump shot yet, and he's a 2-time MVP. Imagine if he had a jump shot.
That's like what we're all thinking about too. Like, what he gonna look like in 3 years when he actually has time to develop a jump shot?
Like, he's 25, 26 years old. Like, he's not even in his prime yet.
Really. Like, once he gets to 29 to that 30, 33 range.
Like, when he gets to his LeBron Heat days, that's going to be a scary sight for the league, bro. When he gets to his LeBron Heat body type, it's going to be over.
So, okay, so you bring that up. I wanted real quick. So Giannis at his peak, going for the future in the next, say, like 7 years. Giannis in his peak, Luka in his peak. Which one, from what we've seen now, do you think has more impact on winning?
Luka, man, Luka is special. I like I said, it's a fairy tale thing. I feel when I watch him play, bro. Like, it's just different. Like, even from when I first saw him play as a little 16-year-old kid, the highlights they were showing, I'm like, nah, he's the guy, bro. Like, when it was draft time, I was telling people, no, he's the guy, number one pick, him. It just looks different. Like, just how he plays, it just, we're not playing, y'all playing for him, like, y'all playing with him. Like, he's not playing on y'all terms. Like, y'all playing on his terms. Like, he let the game come to him. He doesn't force anything. And I feel like that calmness, that just always stillness that he has is just going to carry him far. And I just feel like he's special. Like, when I'm comparing him to Mike, like, I take that comparison serious. Like, I feel like a GOAT energy around him.
Yeah, there's something different about him.
Yeah.
Like, there's just something different about this kid. Like, I mean, they're not, you don't come into your league in your second year and average 27 and 7.
He's been playing in the second best professional basketball league since he was 14 years old.
And he won MVP at that league at 19.
Exactly. Like,
he was a college freshman winning the most valuable player award of a professional basketball league.
The second best professional basketball
Playing with
league.
Roman at 19, playing against them since he was, 16, 17 years old.
Playing against NBA players when he was like 14, 15.
Exactly. It makes no sense, like, during that draft day. And it's like, bro, I feel like we keep
Phoenix
going.
Suns had his coach. You had his national team coach, somebody who knew him and coached him for like multiple years of his life. That's your head coach. Like, the guy's your head coach. Like, he's not a scout, he's not a trainer, the head coach. He knew who he was.
Like, I know what he is. Like, I know exactly what he is.
That's like John Calipari becoming the coach of the Pelicans the year after they win a championship with Anthony Davis, and he doesn't pick Anthony Davis. That makes no sense.
It's like you knew he was going
like, you knew who he was, bro. It doesn't make sense. And the Hawks, bro. The Hawks.
Hawks shouldn't have traded.
What was that? Well, like, okay, Trae Young's nice, bro. Trae Young's nice, bro, but he's not Luka. Y'all can, they're cute. They dropped 40 together. You know, Luka's gonna do different things for the Mavericks that Trae, unfortunately, is not gonna be able to do.
Like, we're talking about the Mavericks, about them being in a title, like, in the next, like, year or two. We're still talking about the Hawks, like, rebuilding, kind of retooling, and still them trying to figure it out.
They need another piece to help trade. They need another.
Yeah, they need to make a trade.
Yeah.
They still need this. They still need that. Oh, the coach. We'll see what happens with the coach. Like,
it was a bad move. It was a bad move.
But it goes to show you, like, one move, one trade can really just change everything about an organization, an entire fan base, an entire market, just everything about it.
But it's not as, like, the Hawks, at least they got Trae out of it. Like, the Kings.
Yeah, that's still something.
The Kings, you failed. Like, Marvin Bagley's not going to ever compare to Luka Doncic. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Marvin. And he was raw. So
he was raw. Like, he was a Duke prospect, Sierra Cannon. We thought he was going to, nah.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Honestly, I think it's just because of situation. I feel like he ends up in a different situation. Than
they're always going to come back productive, like 2-3 years down the line. You're like, they had the potential. They just had to grow. Like, they weren't number 2 pick ready at that time. But years down the line, they get into it. But yeah, those teams definitely gonna look back at that and like, wow, what did we do?
That's a fact. But man, talking about, like, damn, what are we gonna do for the Boston Celtics right now, going into the next game after dropping the ball? You had the opportunity to go 3-0 against the defending champs, and yet you let a corner 3 go off with 0.5 seconds left. Kemba Walker had the craziest drive and assist I think I've seen in a game in a while. The fact that he was able to get the attention of about 3 or 4 defenders trying to make a move with the shot clock running down, able to make a pass the way that he did, finding and cutting Daniel Tice. What a dunk. At that point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Celtics are up 3-0.
Yeah.
If they're up 3-0, like, we're probably going to see Celtics in the finals. Conference finals. But OG Anunoby didn't hit a shot. I don't even think he took a shot in the second half. Come down, hit a 3, hit a corner 3. Kyle Lowry makes a great pass over Taco Fall.
Yeah, I'm like, Taco, your one job was to not let that pass happen, and it happened. Out. But I feel like Brad Stevens has to come to the table on this one, bro. I feel like coaches, I don't. What's up with coaches in the fourth quarter, bro? Like, what's good with these coaches and their game plans in the fourth quarter?
I feel like sometimes it's a case of just overthinking it and thinking too much into a situation. That's what I truly think. Because you didn't need to go zone. You were up 1. You didn't need to play the 3 ball. A 2 wins it. If they get a backdoor lob, a backdoor cut, like, that's all they need to win the game. So it's like, why are you going zone?
I feel like the smart coach, sometimes you outsmart yourself sometimes, bro. Like, and it happens, and I feel like, and it even goes back to the game before when he was calling 70 timeouts in the last 10 minutes. I'm like, bro, you're just doing too much, bro. Like, we get it, you're a technical guy, you like to get everything, but sometimes you overanalyze it, and sometimes it's just basketball, bro. Like The Wire. Sometimes the game is just a game, bro. Like, Stringer, all that business stuff, all that technical stuff, it doesn't matter. This right here is the game, bro.
Like, there's 0.5 seconds on it. Like, there's no need to overthink it. Okay, you want to bring in Taco Fall, cool, to guard the inbound? Okay, I can agree with you on that. But everybody else, like, you don't need to stack the paint. There was nobody close to OG in that right corner, in that left corner. Nobody even close. I think the closest person was Jaylen Brown, and he was halfway under the basket.
Still a great contest, though. Jaylen Brown.
That was it. No, you really saw his. You saw his wingspan on that play.
Jaylen Brown was a great defender, bro. That was a great contest.
No, you really saw his wingspan on that play.
But if I'm the Celtics, I feel like it might get to them, but I feel like if Brad Stevens and the veterans in that locker room talk to these guys like, yo, we're up 2-1 on the defending champ right now. Like, don't get down. It's one game. Come back on this game for snap. Get on them right now. Take over it. And this is our chance to make our mark on this series, bro. They can't be thinking about what happened last game. You got to get rid of that shot. It's over. Move on to the next game. If they come into the game still thinking about what happened last game, I could have did this on that play, you bound to lose. They come in like, that was last game. It's a new game. Yada yada yada. Then they're gonna win.
Yeah, you always gonna have. If you go into a game where you're already down yourself, you're already having a negative attitude about it towards it, you're not gonna perform well. That's that's not just with ball. That's just with anything.
You gotta have that next play attitude, bro. Yeah. Just like, all right, we gotta keep pushing, bro. All right, that happened. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're still alive. There's still another.
We up 2-1, bro. Like, come on. So we can't keep our heads down, bro.
Oh, it is. But bowl basketball has been fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Honestly. The storylines again that are being told right now. The quality of basketball too has been really fun. Just overall, since we didn't get March Madness this year, this has felt like the closest thing to March Madness early on, which is basketball from like noon to like 9.
Yeah, I feel like though this round is gonna be real underwhelming. I feel like the Clippers.
Yeah. Alright, and we back. And so now we gotta take a second and address the situation that's going on with football in this country. For the life of me, I really can't understand it.
Yo, I feel like this might be the real pandemic, bro. I feel like football might be the real pandemic in our
You had Austin P and Central Arkansas kicking off Saturday night. The NCAA, ESPN, all these broadcasting companies are doing everything just to try to get all this money.
Really.
It's sad to see, and the fact that the product on the field, too, is not even quality product. because there were third stringers on that field. I saw 3 highlights in that second half. I saw 3 highlights.
Yo, I'm like, could I make this team right now, bro? I definitely could play one of those skill positions, bro. I saw a wide receiver drop at least 10 passes.
Yeah, and the quarterback for Austin, he had no arm.
He was a punter. He punted the ball. He punted the ball. I was like, what is going on? He was taking punts. He was snapping at punch. He was taking snaps at punch.
Why is this gonna be the product that you're gonna put on the field if you're gonna air it at all? Like, y'all are that desperate? Is the NCAA that desperate? Is ESPN?
Bro, it's like
that desperate?
We were closed for 4 months, bro. What were y'all doing with your money? Like, what were y'all doing?
You had no plan. Y'all were posted up. Y'all had all this time to figure out a proper plan, a proper safety precaution, a proper schedule setup. I mean, y'all did the schedule, but you didn't take into account all the other variables and factors that go into, I don't know, this thing called coronavirus and trying to play a football while there is a whole pandemic going on with this virus.
Like, are they broke? Like, is college?
They're not. They're definitely not broke.
Like, what?
They're definitely not broke.
What is going on with? What is going on right now?
Bro, they just didn't. Bro, honestly, it's really. I swear to God, bro.
Because why is ESPN pumping Austin PI versus Central, whatever that's Mississippi, Arkansas, whatever they were? Why is ESPN pumping that? That's the real question.
Bro, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to reel in this money. They have money in the tub.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't need to do this.
Like, they have money. We don't at all. Like, we really don't. We honest to God don't need to have a football season. And I'm comfortable with that as a sportsman. I don't want it to happen, but I'm comfortable. I'm willing to accept that.
If y'all are not willing to take the steps to make it a bubble, isolated area, have 2-3 campuses somewhere where there's 3 different fields for things to be played, then it's no use of having this done. Like, it's not going to work out.
And even on the NFL side of it too, is like we're a week out from Thursday night.
Yeah, like with the NFL and like the MLB is different because they're grown men. Like that's their job.
And that's the other part of it too.
Yeah, that's their job.
That's part of it. I feel like to an extent degree. But I'm just saying in the course of just football, how do you get it done? Because we're looking at the NFL from a standpoint. The NFL doesn't even really have a plan like that. Mm. That's why I bring that. Why I bring the NFL up in this conversation. Like, if you don't think a professional sports, mind you, it's a poorly run professional sports league, but at the end of the day, they're the ones making the big dollars every year as far as the sports leagues go. If that company doesn't have a plan to kind of protect the product, and then you're not necessarily a great value brand, but you're a branch off that, and they still don't have a plan, like, that says something.
Yeah, but like, well, my main issue with the NCAA is like, y'all want no liability if anything happens with these players, right? So I feel like y'all already putting that out there that y'all don't want to be liable for these players, and if they get this virus and it causes long-lasting effects on their life and their health, and y'all don't want to be responsible for that. Y'all came out and said that, so. Since y'all said that, y'all played your hand, and there's nothing else to be said. There's nothing to be played. I don't feel like young college kids should go out and risk that just to make this billion-dollar organization that's already exploiting their money. Like, no.
Yeah, and like we already talked about that last week. Yeah, already on that. But still, it's just the fact that and there was almost no resistance against it too. I'm just like the fact, and also there were people in the stands too. There were 2,000 people. 2,000 people.
Is that even illegal? Like, can we do that in New York right now, today?
Hell.
Like, we can't.
We can't do that.
We can't
do that. We saw people in the stands acting like nothing was wrong.
What's good? What's going on? Like, if y'all are seeing billion-dollar corporations like the NBA, MLB, NHL, soccer, Premier League are playing their game, playing their championships with no fans, What would make y'all think that a Friday night game against Austin P.I. and Central Arkansas was okay for you to attend? What if these big multi-billion-dollar corporations are not allowing fans in? Y'all think that's smart? Y'all think y'all the good ones? Y'all safe? No.
Like, you're the exception. Like, no, you're not at all.
You think these big billion-dollar corporations don't want fans in their stadium? Trust me, they do. That's the first thing they want. But they know if they do that, it's going to be a big issue. A lot of lawsuits will come down. But y'all signing waivers, and just okaying your life away for it. And hey, it's to each his own. But you just look ridiculous at the end of the day. Yeah. You look a little crazy.
Because you still have a year of eligibility left. Like, you're not losing anything at all. Like, you literally have nothing to lose by sitting this year out. That's ultimately, like, what I don't understand about it.
Like, bro, you're at Austin P.I., bro. Like, I trust you.
Like, bro, like, let's
Nobody's
be real.
looking at you.
Nobody's
looking at you.
Bro, you're not going to get signed to a team, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro.
You're not getting any looks, bro.
I don't know if there's even a play that came out of Austin P.I. that ever saw the field of an NFL game.
What are you playing for, bro? There are no scouts coming to those games.
They're playing for the love of the game.
No.
The love of the game doesn't matter in this situation right now. It does not.
You just out there as a pawn, just out there, bro. Nothing. For nothing, bro. Like, oh my god.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Bro.
That's our quick tangent on football this week, bro. Anyway.
NFL back next Thursday.
Yes.
Next episode we talk about Chiefs, Texans, how that looks, how that plays out.
That's gonna be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, if we get one game of NFL football.
Oh, so speaking of NFL, how you feel about these moves that's been made, bro? How do you feel about Fournette on the Bucs, man?
I'm definitely surprised by it, but it just, like, to me, that showed, like, where the league is going in terms of...
I love it. I love where the league is going right now. I love where the league is going right now.
In terms of how we're going to compete, how we're going to play. If we can't compete with the Chiefs, we're not competing for a Super Bowl at all.
Sit down with that boring bull. And nobody want to see that boring old football.
That's ultimately what I saw it took away from the Leonard Fournette move. So now we have two receivers that went over 1,000 yards last year. You bring back a solid tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Now all they needed was a run game. That was really it.
Yeah.
And now they have that, and Leonard Fournette has been proved to be a better receiver and running back in the past, like, 2 or 3 seasons. So now you add that. Tom Brady, he don't have to do much. He's in a really, really great situation for him because he has a lot of great pieces around him and a smart coach in Bruce Arians that knows the offense like anybody else, like better than anybody else. He's in a really comfortable situation where he really doesn't have to do too much.
I want to challenge that point. What is, like, do too much? Because I feel like that offense is not the type of offense where you can just dick and dunk under. I don't feel like that's what can happen.
I'll say this.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are not those type of receivers where, like I said, like a type Tyreek Hill or like a Julian Edelman or like a Marquise Brown, like where if you throw it to them under, they're going to make plays. Like that type of fast-paced offense. Like those guys should be like a gunslinger. You really got to be throwing it down the field for that offense to be at the full potential.
When I say, like, not do too much, be in the situation where I'm thinking in playoff time and also in the fourth quarter, in a sense, where he's in a situation, and compared to last year, where if his team is down or needs somebody to make a play, he's not going to be in a situation where that's necessarily all on him at that point. That's why I mean he's in a situation where he really doesn't have to do too much. He can coast throughout the game. He can pick his spots, so to say, in a way that LeBron is doing right now, in terms of just on the football field. Because you are right, because we saw those highlights of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Jameis throwing the ball. Like, Jameis was had over 5,000 yards.
Like, he was slinging it.
He was throwing it deep. And, like, no one thinks, like, Brady's going to throw for 5K.
Exactly.
Like, no one thinks that. Like, and last year his long ball wasn't that great either. It wasn't great. But I think Bruce knows that, and he's smart enough to know that, where he'll be able to implement those long plays at certain points in certain situations throughout the game. But moreover, he'll still be able to, I think, develop a really good game plan where he's still be able to get enough out of Brady to the point where, like I said, he's not doing too much, but he's still able to get really good production out of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, just in different ways.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely exciting to see how they put that all together, man. Like, it's gonna be fun. Like you said, we see where offenses are going now, bro. If you're not running, if you're not throwing it down the field, you just might as well pack it up for that day, bro. Like, if you're not playing to be with the Chiefs or the Ravens, or the 49ers, those high-power offenses, like, yeah, it's not gonna work out for you.
And you had a hot take about the Bucs, though.
Yeah, I did, bro. Even with all this high-power offense, I really see the Bucs fitting in around 2 or 3 in the NFC South this year, bro.
So who's your winner?
I feel like I don't know why I feel so strong about the Falcons, bro. I feel like that offense is really going to surprise a lot of people, bro. I feel like Julio had a down year, but he was still Julio. I feel like he still had 1,000 yards last year, even on a down year. But we talked about it a little bit. You feel like Calvin Ridley's gonna have a real breakout year. I feel like his route running is just different, and you having to account for a route running like that is definitely a bad thing when you still have Julio Jones on the other side of the field and bringing in Todd Gurley, who has something to prove, who is a former offensive player of the year. So like, he got all the chips, and he's back in the home. He's back home. He's back getting that home cooked meal. He's back home, so he's comfortable where he's at. So, and I feel like Matt Ryan's gonna have a MVP type year, like a big. I see him doing at least 30 touchdowns, or like, and I feel like I see him getting 4,000 yards at least this year. But yeah, and then I still got the Saints, bro. I still have Drew Brees and Mike Thomas and those guys still stepping up, still playing like the Saints play. And then I feel like the Bucs will be right there, either competing for 2 or 3 with the Saints. But it's gonna be a three team race the whole time. But I don't feel like it's just gonna be the Bucs, this 13-3 team. Like everybody feel like it's about to be. Like, nah, they gonna have to come into this, bro. It wasn't a regular offseason, like. It's gonna look rough at first few weeks.
It's not even just with them. That's gonna be with everyone.
Every team.
Everyone. And
like the first game you play is the regular season. Like no preseason, no nothing.
Not at all. Like you have to you're supposed to be in game shape right now, but the thing is, it's hard to do that when you're not when
you can't really hit your teammates. Like
and you don't even have a preseason game where it's like, okay, you're facing an actual opponent. Like you're game to see okay, what our team's actually going to do against where you're doing defensively, what you're gonna do offensively.
So it's really like the first 4 weeks of this.
First 4 weeks is gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough, but hey, if these young and upcoming teams want to make their stake, it might be in these first 4 weeks when all these teams are in limbo, where maybe the 49ers are not looking as strong as the 49ers may. Like maybe the Chiefs are struggling or something. You never know, and you could get those early first 4 wins in if we still playing after 4 weeks. You don't know, and hey, you never know what happened after the rest of the season.
That's true. Honestly, I think as far as those you just said with those
and I still feel like the Panthers could cause some trouble in that. Like you can't.
Oh no, the Panthers are in the mix.
Like,
Panthers are in the
Teddy
mix.
Bridgewater and they got Christian McCaffrey, bro. Like,
and they have young receivers too, like with DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel.
So I just feel like it's not gonna be easy for the Bucs just to get in and out that division like that.
Right. And real quick, what you said about young teams, I think the Ravens are gonna come out and dominate, pick up right where they left off, honestly.
Yeah.
But speaking of Ravens released Earl Thomas, right?
Yeah.
For something happened for fighting, but fighting happens all the time. You don't get kicked off a team, NFL team for fighting.
Yeah.
There's something else.
Especially in training camp.
Yeah.
Training camp fights that have happened over the years.
Like
That we've seen.
No.
Cam Newton, Josh Norman really literally got into it on camera, bro. Like
Cam was smiling.
Like
it happens anyway. So he gets cut. He gets released. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, but the Cowboys released Ha Ha Clinton-Dix.
Wow.
and they just signed him in March.
Yeah, I was like, he didn't even play with them yet.
So there's that. So Earl Thomas is on the market. The same, not the Saints, but the Cowboys just released their safety that they didn't even play a game for them. So if I'm a betting man, I'm pretty likely to say that Earl is going to the Cowboys, but I'm not sure. Oh, totally. But I'm pretty sure, but I'm not totally sure.
Bro.
But off that, like, when it does happen, how is that going to change Cowboys?
Bro, I welcome it, bro. When these situations happen, I always welcome it. I always want the biggest free agent on the market to go to the Cowboys. I love it because it's the same thing every year, bro. Like I'm not falling for it this year. I'm not allowing myself to fall for it last year. People told me that was a Super Bowl team last year. I'm not falling for it. They added CeeDee Lamb, they added Trayvon Diggs, they got Daniil Hunt, they added everybody. They're a super team. They're about to get Earl Thomas, but hey man, build up those expectations because when the season comes, it's always enjoyable. Just like how Stephen A. feels about it. I feel the same way about it, low key, bro. Just like I just love how every year a fan base, like yeah, I'm a Jets fan. But I've never been that delusional, bro. Like I've never been that delusional where every year I'm realistically saying we're winning the Super Bowl. Like every year for the past 10 years, I've heard a Cowboys fan say, "Yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year."
Yeah, like oh no, like we're definitely like don't count us out, like yeah.
And reporters put them in the mix. Commentators keep them in the mix, bro.
Skip.
And really, they're no better than the Raiders or a team like that, bro. Like what have they done in the past 20 to 30 years?
They kind of are in that realm that you just brought up with the Raiders, where it's this old, where a lot of people don't want to admit that they are. Like you're that old school, old fashioned American football team that everyone loved back in like the 60s, 70s. You had your runs in the 80s and the 90s. You know, you're the team. It reminds you of old America, like pre-2000 America.
Exactly, bro.
But like
it's over with,
it's
bro.
different. It's a different time. You're not a good. You're not that good of a franchise anymore. Like you're competitive. I will give you that. But
are they though? Are they competitive?
Like the only reason why you can say like they're competitive
last year when they were supposed to be Super Bowl contenders.
That's part of it though. But like that's part of it right there too. Y'all have these expectations. I'll give y'all credit. Like you're still a football team, you still win games. But even still, it's the way that you win games
and who y'all beat. And then when y'all play real
it's a lot
teams,
of things.
Y'all like
it's a lot of things still, but it's just
it's just like. But hey, I welcome it. Earl Thomas is coming. Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders. It's gonna be them versus the Chiefs. Mark my words. Week 3 is gonna fall apart.
That has to be an over-under. That has to be an over-under bet somewhere in Vegas.
Like when do Cowboys fans admit that the season is done?
Nothing past like week 7. Week 7 the latest.
Yeah, they never admit it before Thanksgiving, bro. Never.
Like they always get the one.
Yeah, they were like Thanksgiving we're gonna win, we're gonna smash.
At least we'll win. Like that's the one game they at least can look forward to. Like at least we'll see how happens on Thanksgiving. So I was like,
okay, bro. Like y'all really like they lost to the Eagles with like practice team wide receivers, bro. Like what else is there for us to talk about with this team, bro? Like,
but they sure as hell gonna try to be relevant. They sure as hell gonna try to compete. And sure as hell gonna try to win Super Bowl. They gonna try. They gonna try each and every year. Jerry's with it. Jerry gonna try every single year. What's up?
Hot take: the Giants finish better than them this year, bro. The Giants will finish better than them this year.
What do you think the Giants record is gonna be?
Not nothing crazy. 7-9 maybe. 7-9, 8-8 maybe.
7-9, 8-8 with an A. Okay.
Dak Prescott is not a elite quarterback, so as long as he is at the helm, nothing's good is gonna happen to that team. I'm sorry, like if you have that talent, you should be a Super Bowl. They should have won a Super Bowl. The talent that you have, you should be a Super Bowl contending team every year. You should not be 8-8 at all.
You shouldn't. But how much is that to the last coach?
then that's another thing. There's no more blame on Jason Garrett. Like that's out the window.
Like that's also like been part of like
what's been getting them over these past 11 years is Jason Garrett's still our coach, man. He's the guy to the cause, man. No, he's not there anymore. Y'all have a Super Bowl winning coach. Y'all have no more complaints. Y'all are telling me y'all have the best offense in the league. I want to see it now. And y'all do. Y'all really have a great core. Like if if Dak Prescott can't win a playoff game with this core, he's trash. That's not even a hot take. If he can't get them to the playoffs, he should. He doesn't deserve it.
It's not what I just like what I just said about Brady before. Like he's in a situation where he really doesn't have to do too much because he has literally pieces all around him.
Anything you want, bro.
Like you have a solid line. You have an elite running back. You have great wide receivers. You have a solid tight end core. You have a great defense,
bro.
A solid defense.
If you put Carson Wentz on the Cowboys, I feel like the Cowboys wouldn't even.
Bro, you put Carson Wentz on the Cowboys, they might be the favorites.
Exactly. Like I'm saying, like there wouldn't even be any threat of contention in the NFC East, bro. In the NFC, period. That's just that's what I'm saying is wrong with Dak Prescott, bro. Like he's the issue, bro. And they're gonna keep having the issue until he's gone, bro. They jumped the gun too early, bro.
Nah, I get you. Nah, I agree with you. Like you said on this podcast too a couple months back, he's a systems quarterback. You don't pay that man more than like $20 million.
For real, bro. And if they waste this collection of talent, bro, if they waste it and they don't get anything out of it, bro, that would get me angry, bro. Because like teams, you don't get like what they have right now is not easy to come by. Like
we don't see like really talented quality teams like this often. Like in the NFL
at all, bro. Like the type of talent that offense have, bro. Like I don't think people really understand it until we're gonna see week 1, bro. Like just to have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb on the same offense this is different.
Like you don't have like a lot of receiving cores don't have
a lot of receiving cores don't have 2 Randy Mosses, bro. Like it's just as simple as that, bro.
You don't have like on regular receiving cores you don't have like 2 star receivers.
Exactly.
At most you have 1.
Yeah, you have one solid star and then a complimentary star. Like Chris Godwin's good, but he's not that like guy. But like CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper have the opportunity to be like 2 number 1s for real.
Yeah, like CeeDee Lamb on another team is gonna be like the number 1.
Exactly. It's gonna be fun to see. I want to see how they put that together.
Football, man. Football again. I will never be able to get over it. Yeah. I will never be able to get over it. But anyway, we gotta get into other stuff right now. Gotta get into real quick. The versus Brandy and Monica. How'd you feel about it?
It felt like an awkward Thanksgiving, bro. Like, bro, we talked about it last week. I talked about I didn't know if they tensions were gonna show on screen, and it was there, bro. Like I didn't know that Monica hit Brandy, bro. I did not know that, bro. Like I did not know that, bro. I just thought they had smoke. I did not know that she put her hands on her, bro.
That's a different situation.
Like
that's different at that.
They put her hands on her, and then they went on stage together and performed, bro. At a award show, like yo. But it was a fun night, bro. Like I said, going into it, Brandy just different. I feel like her catalog spoke for itself. It just was longer, powerful song. A lot of the songs Monica was playing, I didn't know, bro. She played like 7 songs that she made in the past 10 years, bro. I'm like, shutty. No. Like, I wasn't checking for Monica in the 2010s, bro. But yeah, it was dope. So I scored it wise. I had it like around what I said, like 13-7, 14-8, bro. Like around there. It wasn't too bad for Monica.
It was. Overall, I was just like...
But, like, it was kind of boring, because you kind of feel... Like, when you know there's a tension in the air, you can feel it, bro.
It felt like... And, like, I didn't know that. Like, that is new information to me. But, like, even just listening to it and, like, peeking over, like, somewhat, like, just looking at it on the computer, like, it did seem like something was off. Like, there was something about this versus that didn't seem, like, regular about, like, the other verses.
Yeah.
Like, you could, like, tell, like, there was something, like in the other verses about, like, I go back to, like, Bras and Chains, like that was like a calm, like for the most part, it was like a calm before it got competitive, a calm vibe, like that camaraderie that we saw between Preem and RZA.
Yeah.
Like there's a different atmosphere, and like you can see that. But as far as like the session of music, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. But I'm starting to compare it to like a lot of other verses. Like, so the best verses in my eyes would probably be Snoop and DMX. Like, I feel like that's the one I had the most fun in. And like you said, it was the most where they had camaraderie. Like, they felt like it was friends. Like, they really wanted to be there. They liked each other. Like, they said it at the beginning of verses, bro. They haven't spoken in 8 years before. Like, this is their first time seeing each other in 8 years, bro.
And now knowing that, like, yeah, you put your hands on me, like, it makes sense. Like, okay, yeah, why wouldn't I want to talk to you for 8 years?
Yeah, so, like, and it definitely played out when they were talking, bro. Like, but it was a good celebration. But I'm really looking forward to what Versus have next, bro. I didn't expect them to what they have evolved into today. I couldn't expect this back when it started, bro.
Yeah, no one ever did. I don't think. Like this really cool. This was literally lightning in a bottle.
For real.
Like Timberland and Swizz, like they really caught something, and the fact that this can really turn into like a whole show, like a whole programming to the point where you have like people in these big corporations in these offices that saying, "Hey, I want that product."
Like when you can tour this, now you can go out and tour these acts.
Yeah.
Like have the Versus tour and have everybody who did the Versus come out and do their sets, play their songs back to back, just like it was. Like this can go so many different places.
And the fact that like it also too like it's in like you get in contact with these other people too. And it's like, oh shit, like now there's maybe rumors of so and so working together on a little project here and there. Too. And also like I think it shows like it's good for like the younger generation, the generation coming up right now to see like all these past stars like still like out here like performing, like doing their thing. So.
Yeah, most definitely. It's an educational time for a lot of the young generation, just to figure out the impact these people had on the game. A lot of these legends that wasn't here when the social media was out, it gives them an opportunity to get that shine, and it doesn't come off in like a cloud chasing way. Cause like a lot of times when the older acts try to get their flowers or get their notoriety, it comes out like cloud chasey when it shouldn't. And this is a kind of like organic way for them to get their flowers now.
Yeah, definitely. But moving on from that, let's get into new music. Got Big Sean dropping Detroit 2. Oh, first, that is a really good, really well put together piece of work right there.
Yeah, our first listen, bro. Hit Boy might be the best producer in the game right now, bro. Somebody got to come take that from him. As far as where we stand right now, from the Nas project, from this, these are two solid albums